Welcome to Rewriting Real Estate, Millionaire Moves and Modern Tactics with your host, Kimberly Falker, a coach, mentor and strategist for agents who are ready to scale smarter. On this show, you'll learn from high-performing agents who are building their empires with innovation, intention and no apologies. Whether you're an experienced agent stuck at a plateau or a rising star ready to fast-track your success, this podcast gives you the real-world tactics, mindset shifts, and lessons learned from those rewriting the rules.
Hi everyone, it's Kimberly Falker, and you're listening to Rewriting Real Estate, the show where I uncover the millionaire moves and modern tactics that are changing the game. Today's guest is Kim Dean, someone I deeply respect, not just for what she's built, but how she's built it. Kim has created an incredible community in real estate, growing her team and partnerships into the hundreds. She's completely redefined what growth looks like by leading with connection, collaboration, and culture. And one of the most powerful ways she's done that is through unforgettable live events that brings agents together and moves them forward. And this is how she's rewritten her path in real estate, and I can't wait for you to hear how she's done it. Kim, I'm so excited to share your amazing journey in real estate, but before we get started, I do want to do a little rewind. And who were you before real estate's kind of an important question because most of us didn't just jump into it from 18 on.
No, but I did get in really early. I only had what I like to say one other big girl job before real estate. And that was right after I graduated from college. I'm a proud Texas A&M Aggie, and I graduated and did pharmaceutical sales for about 9 months to a year before I found myself engaged and living with my new husband in the Washington, D.C. area where he was stationed in the Army. And so that is where I had my oldest son. I gave birth to him up there. So he was born in the D.C. area. And it was there where real estate found me. And so I was a new mom, and I knew that I wanted to be a very present part of my kids' lives because I had just lost my mom. She was chronically ill her whole life, and I had just lost her the year before I became a mom. And so that really shaped my decision on what I wanted to do in life and how I wanted to run my life. And real estate just seemed like the perfect outlet for me and for those goals I had.
How did you find real estate? Did you know somebody in it, or typically seems like somebody knows somebody somehow?
Oh, I know it because I had at that point never even owned my own home or done my own transaction yet. We were living on base. We were living on base at Fort Myer, which I don't even think Fort Myer is there anymore in Virginia. It overlooks the Arlington National Cemetery. That was like our backyard.
Wow.
And so my ex-husband was part of the crew that had the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. They did all the cemeteries in Arlington National Cemetery.
Wow.
And so from the top of our high rise, we had a view of downtown DC. So that was when we were there on 9/11 too, a mile from the Pentagon when all that happened. And we knew that he didn't want to re-up. And so he was from Texas. I was from Texas. We wanted to go back. And we thought there was a sign that was put up inside of our building. It said, "Soldiers who are leaving, come hear about what a career in real estate could look like when you're leaving the military." And I saw that,
It's almost like military recruitment, but differently.
Yeah, exactly. Say, "Hey, are you leaving the military?" And so I told my husband, actually my ex-husband got his license too. He ended up not doing anything with it, but I'm like, I want to go to this. So we went to the info session. And here I was thinking, when I came from pharmaceutical sales, which was also a very independent kind of a job for being just out of college. I had my own company car, my territory. I got to set my schedule for my day. And I'm like, this is in the same lane. I have the flexibility and freedom to do what I want to do, and I can be creative because I was not very good at just being a stay-at-home mom. I quickly learned that about myself. I'm like, I can't do this. All the respect in the world for the women that can, but I knew I had to have that outlet. And so real estate was just a natural fit for me. And I'm so glad it found me when it did. I really think real estate has saved me in multiple
Did you
ways.
do it in DC or did you do it after you did it in DC as well?
I did. So my first association was actually with the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors, and I worked for Century
Aw.
21 New Millennium. If you're still out there, it was a great first place for me, and I did one transaction before we moved back to Texas. My goal originally, though, was really to learn and get a base knowledge and maybe place a lot of referrals because we knew people that were coming and going. But I did one transaction. I loved it. And then we found ourselves moving back to Texas. So I didn't get a whole lot of experience there.
So you're in Dallas now. Is that where you guys moved? So you've been
Yep.
and then you
I grew
picked
up in
from there?
Yeah, I grew up in DFW.
Okay.
My husband at the time was from East Texas, but we both knew we wanted to come back to the DFW area. My older sister, Laura, who is also now licensed and she works with us, she was here. And so after we lost our mom, it was really important for us to, as siblings, to be together. And so my brother's here now too. So all three of us are in DFW.
That's awesome. So when you moved back to Texas, what was your kind of journey in real estate in that way?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to learn. I'm like, I really want to be around people who are doing this at a high level. So my first play when I moved back to DFW was to I wanted to be on a team or be an assistant or something like that to get my feet wet in it. And that's what I did. Prior to that, I actually was working as a new home sales assistant for a couple of days a week. I saw that side of the business. And then I got connected with a team leader and was that team's first assistant, client care concierge coordinator. And then I became their designated buyer's agent once I got my Texas license. And we got so busy as me just being their buyer's agent, then my sister got licensed. She then took over my assistant duties so that I could do buyer's agent full time. And then she got so busy, she was doing both. That's how it went for a while. And we realized we really loved working together. Not all siblings can say that, but
True.
Laura and I can. and so that kind of took shape. And we were looking at where we were getting a lot of our business. And we realized that we were generating a lot of it, just being moms and being present within our communities, our neighborhoods, our schools, that kind of thing. And we decided one day that we're just going to leave the team we were on, and we started our own thing, which ended up turning into us starting our very first brokerage, independent
wow.
brokerage together in 2008.
Wow. Yeah, and those were the good years.
We thought, yes, this is the perfect year to start a new business as the entire economy was crumbling. We're like, let's do it.
But you know what? Those that were able to make it in those years can make it anytime.
That's what we said too. And we said, if we can make it now, we're going to be just fine. And we also came from a perspective of we were no longer having to pay big splits on a team, big splits at a brokerage. And we're like, we could do half the amount of business and make the same amount of money. But this time we're calling our own shots and having our own thing. So that was really the birth and the beginning of my first boutique brokerage.
That's awesome. That's really exciting. And then when you were as a boutique brokerage, did you feel the pressure to build, or you were happy just small and lean?
No, I think at first it was very much just, hey, this is for us. And maybe someday if our kids want to take it over, they could. We really didn't have big aspirations to grow it into something because our priorities at that time were family first and being realtor second.
And as much as you could in keeping it.
And what we noticed though over our first few years as an independent was that the agents we were doing transactions with, like, we really enjoyed it. And they're like, y'all are fun. We love working with you. Are you hiring? And so Laura and I were like, I don't know, sure. And so we learned it together. And so we had a few agents partner with us over our first couple of years. And it was very much we wanted to be real family real estate was our tagline back
love
then.
that.
It also was the longest domain name ever. And so my email address was kim@realfamilyrealestate.com. And so that was our first URL.
So the reason that I really wanted you on is because I know that you've made an amazing kind of pillar of your business that's very unique in my opinion, because it's not my love language. I've always admired learning when people do this. It's making kind of your break in the business through events. Did that start early on, or did that kind of organically grow as you've shifted and changed in your business?
What's funny is I look back on it now, and I was doing client events before I realized I was doing client events. And what I mean by that is I was always the person in the neighborhood coordinating the bunko night or the book club or the girls wine night. And I just naturally found myself always in those positions of gathering people together. And what I realized is that really helped set the tone for our success our first several years, because it was then the referrals made from those relationships
Right.
that were the basis of our business. Because neither my sister or I were cold callers. We did not door knock. And at the time, social media was not a thing. And so
And even the internet wasn't that big of a deal back then. That was like,
no,
pound the pavement
yeah,
and get stuff done.
yeah, it was. And it was more it was those events. Blogging finally, like that came on the scene, and that was like the trendy thing to do. And we were doing that. But yeah, I think without realizing it, yes, events were a huge part of that success early on. And over the years have become my very favorite thing to do, because one, I see the value in them. And two, it increases your longevity and it nurtures that relationship longer, because you build connections deeper at events versus just, I'm going to service you on this transaction and maybe I never see you again. And that's just not our thing. And we've even now seen it as we've grown our network at our company, that those events are the thing that builds such a solid community that we have. And the retention rates are just sky high, because you don't want to leave this family feeling that we've built.
It's true. So you went from doing more client events to now you've transitioned to doing some pretty amazing agent-centric events. And the concepts, I think, are amazing. And from what I know, and I don't know for sure, but some of your events are not brokerage specific. It's anyone, right? It's just a real estate focused event. Tell me a little bit how that has came to be, or your process with that.
Yeah, so the first kind of, I would say, big event I did for agents was at first, and it always comes out of selfishly something that I want to do. So I wanted to have a retreat with women in the fall. And so in Texas, where I am, there is a place called Broken Bow, Oklahoma. It's about 2.5 hours north of us. And it really got on the map during COVID when people were locked at home and couldn't do anything. But think of Broken Bow being like this very bougie place in the woods where these gorgeous cabins are out there and you just feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, right? But it's close enough to Dallas to where you can get back and forth. And so what we did is my very first retreat, we booked one of those cabins. I had 20 women come and we did our business planning for the next year over the weekend. But at the same time, it wasn't just work. It was 50% fun, 50% play. And we were belly laughing till we hurt. We realized, and we had people there that were not part of our brokerage. They were guests, like friends of friends, because agents like working with their friends.
True.
And what we saw, this will be the 4th year I've done this, actually.
Wow.
We're hosting it again. And every time that we've had a guest come to one of those events, they always end up partnering with us.
Oh,
Always. So we have a 100% retention rate of anyone that was coming to those events. And it was never about join our brokerage. It was actually never mentioned at all. And what it was, they had now these new deep relationships with women who are going through the exact same struggles that they were. And that they saw how we each lifted each other up, openly collaborated. There was no egos. And to have 20 women in the same place together and no catfighting is quite an accomplishment, especially in this industry where it's so cutthroat.
True.
And so I think what we saw was what we were putting out was resonating, and our tribe found us. You've heard that phrase before. So that was the first one. And so we've now repeated it every year. Last year was the first time I threw a spring retreat also. And it's always brokerage agnostic is what I put. It's open to any brokerage. And I always feel that through that, it'll attract or it'll resonate with those that it's meant to resonate with. And that's what we found.
Is it primarily social media that get word out? Is it, for the most part, local Texans, or do you have people coming in from other places?
It's both. I would say for my business planning retreat, it's usually those agents that I've met in person in DFW.
Mm-hmm.
However, for my spring retreat, that was the first time I had people attend and I didn't know who they were. And
Wow.
so it was made through relationships of women I went to and met at conferences before, because I'm a big fan of attending real estate conferences. So it was through those relationships and then other women that I had met online on Facebook, and we're somehow through some networking group or conference we got connected. And then when they saw me post about the retreat, they're like, I'd love to come, I'd love to meet you
Oh,
in person. And so that was really neat to see that play out. And then now the biggest event that I'll be working on
and now I
is in
was going to mention it.
collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest one is I'm in collaboration with four other women. We're leading this up, but it is on a cruise ship next January out of Miami, and it's a conference at sea.
That's
And so
amazing.
the days that we're at sea, we're taking the morning times, and that's when we're having our real estate conferencing. And it just turned into their own little event that Karen Pancook, she's at the Property Geeks, they did that and had invited me to come speak on it and be a part of it. And what happened through that is people were seeing it online going, that looks like a lot of fun. Are you doing it again? And so this year, Karen reached out and said, okay, I think we need to make this bigger. Let's make this amazing. And was
That's
really excited to
exciting.
partner with her on that. Yeah.
So backing up for a half a second, when you do, for those of us that are not naturally born event planners, but let's
Yeah.
say somebody wanted to get into it, what are some of the kind of tips, tricks, and lessons that you've learned that you might want to avoid if you're going to do an
Yeah.
event? Not, you don't have to go into long detail, but just like a quick little tutorial on if you're going to do an event and best practices or avoidance of harsh lessons.
Sure. There's a lot of lessons learned on the way. I would say to know yourself and to know what you're good at and what you're not good at.
Right.
And the things that you are not good at or don't feel that resonate with you or authentic to you, find another person to go in with you on that and do it. For example, on the spring retreat, I collaborated with another woman. We put it together. She was great at a certain part of it, and then I have other skill sets. And so if you're an idea person, but maybe not the executor or implementer, find those that are and build something around that. Or they always say hire to your weakness, right?
Right.
And 100% you have to do that with these events. Otherwise you will get burned out. Or it just won't be a success, or people will see that it's not your passion
Right.
and they're going to be like, I'm just not resonating with what you're putting out there. Are you really excited to do this, or are you stressed to do this? Or so rally around others that have fill in your gaps for
And
do that.
then
And
something like the fall or the spring retreat, how far in advance do you start planning? Like the day that it ends, typically, or
well, I should if I were better about that, but I have a way of going, oh crap, I should really schedule that. So for my fall retreat, I like to have that booked about 6 months out.
okay,
And so now that this will be the fourth time that I've done it, so some of the things are I can plug and play from previous times. So
right,
your very first event will always take longer and will take more effort than the repeats.
right,
But the beauty in that, though, is that if you've done it once and had a great experience, then you can say, let's do it again. And now
right.
you build something that people look forward to every year that you can build and make better and better. So you don't have to start amazing. You can just start with going, hey, there's 5 of us. You've got a
Right.
lake house. Let's go there for the weekend. So you start small and then add on something special or a little bit different each time that you do it. You don't have to go big right from the get-go.
And then the value that you have in hosting events for realtors is you find people that, like you said, your vibe is attracting your tribe. So you're building out your group, your just for those that don't know it, Kim Dean is Simply Texas. I think it's a great logo, great whatever brand. But the goal is to build out Simply Texas, but is the secondary goal to create relationships with other agents for referrals. I think sometimes agents that maybe want to get into events, they're trying to mentally think, where's the dollar signs that are associated with it?
Sure.
Where's
Yeah.
the
So like
return on that?
sure, and that's the questions like what's the payout? Like why do anything? And each event has a slightly different goal behind it. So for my fall business planning retreat, for example, the goal initially was that was to build and strengthen relationships within the existing network that we had. And it was also then to bring in maybe guests that were in other brokerages that weren't finding that same community or support where they were at, and letting them experience it. And I think a lot about what Sharon says. So Sharon was our president here at Real, and he often says provide proof over promise. Meaning, let people experience it, let them see it rather than just tell them about it. And events are the 100% way to do that, because they're actually experiencing it. They're meeting the people, they're seeing it being played out in real time. It's not just telling them, oh, we're really supportive and great. No, they're actually feeling it, and they're seeing the value. They're learning something new. And so the goal there is to learn to reinforce relationships and to allow the proof over promise concept. Now, for the bigger events, 100%, I love Real. I love the platform that it has and how it allows me to connect with agents, not just in my local network, but across the country, which is amazing. And so I want to meet new referral partners for my personal production, for my personal business. I want to be the DFW girl, Simply Texas, right?
Right.
But I also want to meet new agents that might be in different brokerages who
Right.
are looking for, again, for this community. And I can showcase what we have and say, here, be a part of it. You get to experience it in real time. And so it really almost makes my job easier. Is I never feel like I'm selling it because they're experiencing it firsthand. So the goal is always, and it's always to level up, right? The goal is also to be the dumbest person in the room,
Right.
and to surround yourself by others who are doing things more than I can, because I
Right.
can't be everything to everyone.
No.
But I know there is experts in every single field, and so I look for them to bring them in so that they can pour into the people that I'm in network with.
That's great. I love that. And then going back to if an agent was new but had that curiosity about doing events, would you suggest starting with local events with like other agents, or would you suggest starting with an event with your sphere or clients that you might have? Which is there a better starting place, or?
No, it all depends on what your goal is. If you're not at a brokerage like Real, where you get to build networks like that, then your goal can always be to build your personal business of buyers and sellers. And so start with something that feels authentic to you. So what I mean by that is, if you, let's say, for example, you love dogs, you are a dog person, right? Then your first event might be rallying around that and saying, all right, everyone in my database who has a dog, we're meeting at the dog park this Saturday, and we're doing pups and Prosecco. Right? I'm going to bring the drinks or the donuts,
And you bring your
we're
dog.
you bring your dog, and maybe you bring a little branded bandana, right? So that, or maybe your thing is golf. Like my husband loved golf. And when he first got into the business, I'm like, okay, build your business around that. Every time you go to the golf course, you need to invite 2 to 3 new people with you. Go to a new course, do video about the real estate surrounding the course. But then now I'm so proud, he is doing his very first event himself, and
Oh.
it's a golf tournament.
Oh my gosh,
And
how fun.
so it's the Simply Texas Shootout in
Oh,
September.
I
And
love that.
he's doing it to benefit the UT Southwestern Kidney Cancer Foundation, because he's a survivor of kidney cancer. And so he's doing an event to bring awareness. Think of the thing that you love to do. So back to, like when I was beginning, like if you're the person that connects everyone in your neighborhood, start with a bunko night or a book club or a wine night. That's an event. Believe it or not, you don't have to talk real estate, but guess what's going to get brought up?
Real
Oh,
estate,
you're in
yeah.
real estate?
And then
Let's
on
talk
top of
about
it, you'll be top of mind when
Yes.
they know somebody and eventually they do something. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Takes away the fear or the pressure of it having to be perfect or a big deal. It could be,
Right.
you said, just meet at a dog park. You provide the Prosecco and the bandanas, and the rest is just natural. I love that idea. Because for me, I'm not an event person, and that immediately made me feel like, oh, I could do that.
Exactly. Go to your chat GPT, tell them, here are my hobbies. Help me come up with a client event with these hobbies. And then, oh, by the way, give it a clever, kitschy name. And you've got your first event in 2 minutes.
That makes total sense. Because I love the retreat idea, but like I start getting little hives I'll
No,
go to your
like,
retreats, but I don't know that I'll plan them.
no, but maybe you're the one with the idea, and then you posted on
Well, good
social
point.
media and said, "Here's my idea. Who wants to rally with me and help me put this on?" And you would be surprised. You will
That's a
have
good
people
point.
raise their hand and say, "I want to do it with you."
And have you found through these events, even though they're for the most part realtor focused, have you found that your business, your production business has grown too because of it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think our clientele sees it and they see the passion that we have for it.
I love
And that
that.
we're not just in this as a hobby, like this is our full-time career. We're committed to it and it shows that we're in it to level up the industry.
Yeah,
We're
because if
not
you're
just
going on
in
a
it for,
retreat to get better in your business planning, then obviously you're
right.
invested in trying to get better in your business.
And then I can tell them too, they know that I have a friend or a connection in just about every part of the country.
That's
So I
true.
can say, "Hey, oh, you're moving to Florida? I've got a friend in Florida, right? That can
Right.
help you." And it's not just where I've met her online. We did yoga together and I got to know her about her business. And now I'm sending a referral that has meat behind it. It's not surface level. Like,
That's
I think
true.
you'd be a great connection. You both have kids or whatever the case may be. So your referrals become more meaningful and powerful too.
I love that. I love that. And referrals to the agents out there, don't disregard how big of a piece of a business that can be, is connecting with
Right.
agents all over the country, because referrals are probably a fourth of my business. It's just word of mouth,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah.
And it's
Actually,
really nice to make a connection with an agent in another state, and it's just a really nice, lovely way to connect. And when you get that referral closing little bit of a commission, you're like, oh wait, I forgot about that. It's a little bonus because you forget, like you stay in
exactly.
touch, but you forget that's actually. I never go in my calculator and figure out my referral fees because I don't think about it. But you get a lot
Sure.
of them.
Yeah, 100%. Like a friend of mine, she's Kim. I'm getting a 19,000 referral fee, and like she goes, I wasn't even planning on it, and I'm like, that's just gravy money. That's bonus mailbox money.
Hmm.
And without fail, every time I either attend an event or I host an event, I always get something out of it that brings me more money that pays for that event.
It's so
And
true.
so
I think
whether
I
it's
think conferences are the best way to make connections and network. And
yeah,
we're obviously talking outside of the whole event, you creating events, but going to events are a big piece. Should be for a new agent. You should plan on at least one event a year, in my opinion.
Kim, think about how you and I met. Where have we
Good
seen
point.
each other?
An event.
Events. And we
That's
see
true.
each other once or twice a year at least at events, whether it's through our brokerage or through Tom Ferry or through other coaching programs or you
Yeah,
name it.
yeah,
That's we're going to see each other, and now it becomes fun to go to those. You're like,
I know.
oh hey, and now you've got friends that you see that you made previously. I'm
True.
actually doing a class on Monday on the closerscruise.com Facebook page about agent to agent referrals. We're
Oh,
doing a
good.
summer school series of classes leading up to the cruise, and I'm leading one about agent to agent referrals and how to hack that. And events are a very big part of that.
Yeah. And there's the commission breath. When you go to an event, you don't want to have referral breath. It's like
No.
authentic, because you can go to these events and you can see those that are trying too hard, so to speak. It's just like getting a new piece of business as a listing agent, where it's a chemistry, it's a connection. You got to form that connection, not just push it. So any agent that, if you haven't gone to an event and you choose to, do it organically.
And you will. You'll find your
Yeah.
people. Like I always admire the people who are getting up really early at those events and working out, or you see them outside going for runs together, or they're
Hmm.
coordinating, hey, let's go to the local CrossFit gym together while we're in this new town. And
Hmm.
then they're making those relationships just being themselves.
Right,
So
right.
you can form a community even at other events.
I know last Tom Ferry event, I roomed with a friend that I've met through Tom Ferry, and it was an opportunity. It's like we were strangers a few years ago, and now we're friends. So it's really
Right.
nice. Yeah.
And then social media keeps us all connected and then
Yeah.
it does its thing.
Kim, before we close, I do want to make sure that you give more information on the cruise, because if an agent was interested in attending, give a little bit. I'll put it in the show notes, but I want to make sure in
Okay.
case somebody wanted to sign up like right away. What's
Yeah.
the name of the website, or how could they get on board?
Yeah. So you're going to go to thecloserscruise.com.
Okay.
So www.thecloserscruise.com. You can also find our Facebook page called The Closers Cruise. When you go there, you'll see information about us who are hosting it. You'll have the full itinerary of where we're going and when. The dates are there. And the FAQ section on our website is chock full of all the information you could possibly want to know. We just announced a few of our big speakers who are going to be there. Chelsea Pites will be on board. I'm a big fan of her. Phil Stringer's going to be on board sharing about AI. He's like the king of AI for realtors. And then we're going to have a lot of other phenomenal speakers. So the conference itself takes part of those mornings of our days at sea, but we're going from Miami to Belize, Honduras, and Cozumel, January 10th through the 17th of next year. So there's still plenty of time, and rates are still really low right now. So we can't guarantee when or if the boat will sell out, but we're going to keep selling our conference tickets on board until it sells out. We hope to see you on board, and talk to your CPA, but I'm sure parts of it can be a write-off. And it's a win-win. While the rest of the country is freezing in January, you're out there building your business. A great way to kick off a new year with some ideas to implement into your business plan and to get connected with other agents that you haven't met yet.
Plus, it's a mini vacation, because if you get one room, then your spouse or significant other can come, quote, for free almost.
Yeah, a lot of people brought their spouses in the past. They brought their kids. They turn it into a little mini vacation. And so you're more than welcome to do that too. We're even opening it up to if there are insurance or title or lenders that want to come to. All of the sessions that we're providing value on can be relevant for just about anyone inside the real estate space. We'd love to see you and to meet you there.
I love it.
And it's a buy one, get one. It's a buy one, get one until the end of July too. So I can't believe I almost forgot that. So it's Christmas in July. We're doing buy one conference ticket, get one free. You still have to book your cruise fare, but in terms of the conference ticket on board. And with that too, we're going to have a group excursion. There will be breakfast masterminds. There will be private cocktail hours on the ship, and just a lot of fun.
Oh, how fun. Sounds great. Before we go, my final question that I do like to ask is, if you had to move from Texas to a market, a state that you've never lived in, you have no connections there whatsoever, and you don't have any of the agents in your group, you're all by yourself, you had to start over again, what would be the first thing you do to scale as fast as possible?
I would implement what I learned at the Rev B conference, the Real Estate Video Blueprint, and that is just doing a ton of hyper-local content. And I've seen you, Kim, you've done that, and you're doing amazing, and you're coming up in my feed. I would totally adopt, and I would go all in on making several videos a day about my hyperlocal market, because chances are if I haven't lived there and I don't know it, then I'm learning it too. And it's easy to go film it, share it, and be the person that is found when people search for best neighborhoods, best restaurant, best this or that.
And would you also pull in your experience or your love for events sooner than 100%. Later? Okay.
Oh yeah, you bet.
You might do the dog park idea.
Yes, I'm new. Are you new here? Do you want to make new friends? Because even if you're not new, a lot of people just are either shy or not great at getting out and creating community themselves. So you bet I'd be out there creating community too. So the sooner you can find your tribe, the quicker you're going to scale, and the quicker you're going to be happier. When you're happier, that just comes out authentically, and people want to be around other happy people. Let's face it.
There you go. On that note, I think that's a perfect ending line.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks for listening to Rewriting Real Estate. If today's episode challenged your thinking or gave you a strategy worth trying, share it. The right move at the right time can change everything. Subscribe and listen in next week for more insight, more momentum, and more ways to grow your business your way.